Jehovah's Witnesses and the United Nations, How the Watchtower Society Fooled Millions. Chapter 11, entitled The Continued Affair. So when the Watchtower Society disassociated themselves from the UN in October of 2001, this didn't end their ties with the UN. And the author goes on to give us 5 bullet points on how it has continued after 2001. So I'm going to read pretty much the rest of this chapter. So number 1, the Watchtower Society has been deeply involved with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, for several years. The OSCE is an organization that works hand in hand with the United Nations on 3 dimensions of global security, one of which includes the political-military dimension. Due to this political and military involvement, this organization should be viewed as being in opposition to the Watchtower Society, the doctrine. However, from September 6th through October 7th, 2011, they were listed as attendees for the Human Dimension Implementation meeting held in Warsaw, Poland. This isn't their first foray into this association. According to the final list of NGO participants for the OSCE Supplementary Human Dimension meeting on freedom of rights or belief held in Vienna during July 9th and 10th, 2009, the following Watchtower Society participants are listed: the Administrative Center of Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia, found on page 13. The European Christian Witnesses, found on page 16. And the Official Jehovah's Witnesses, found on page 19. These are just the English-titled Association of Jehovah's Witness Council for Watchtower registrants. When you look at the Watchtower registrants in other languages, you will see others included, such as France-based Association Culturelle des Témoins de Jehovah, sorry about that, pardon my French, found on page 13, and the Austrian-based, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, sorry, you're going to have to buy the book, found on page 15, just to name a couple. You can also see them listed in the OSCE Human Dimension Implementation meeting held in Warsaw, Poland, from September 29th through October 10th in the year 2008. You will see Administrative Center of Jehovah's Witnesses, Russia, found on page 41. The European Association of Jehovah's Christian Witnesses, page 49. Office of General Counsel for Jehovah's Witnesses, page 63. Religious Center of Jehovah's Witnesses in the Republic of Kazakhstan, page 65. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Poland, page 71. Going back another year, these are also listed in the 2007 meeting in Warsaw, Poland, from September 24th to October 5th, 2007, and they are as follows: the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Poland, page 83. Administrative Center of Jehovah's Witnesses, Russia, page 45. European Association of Jehovah's Witnesses on page 54. Official of General Counsel of Jehovah's Witnesses, page 73. Their attendance in these annual meetings continues going back for several more years. These ongoing attendance is the most blatant example of several Watchtower corporations going against their own doctrine by involving themselves in an organization that is based on political and military agendas. Number 2, since October 18th of 2004, all the way up until at least September 2nd, 2011, the Watchtower Society has enlisted the United Nations Human Rights Commission as an ally in their quest to free South Korean Jehovah's Witnesses who have been arrested for being conscientious objectors. Although this seems like a great idea for the cause, one only needs to remember that by using the United Nations as a tool, the Watchtower Society is enlisting the help of God's enemies instead of God Himself, according to their own doctrine. Number 3. The European Association of Jehovah's Christian Witnesses submitted a detailed report to the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights on August 26, 2009. This report was obviously designed to curry favor with the United Nations as it described the religious discrimination against the Jehovah's Witnesses in Egypt and the objectives for the religious freedoms that the Jehovah's Witnesses were seeking in Egypt. Again, another example of a Watchtower corporation seeking the help of God's enemies instead of relying on Jehovah God Himself, according to the Watchtower doctrine. Number 4. In 2003, in the booklet for the UNDP IAPSO review, the Watchtower Society was, on page 30, in the list of customers for the organization. What is the UNDP/IAPSO? It stands for the United Nations Development Program Interagency Procurement Services Organization. So what's all that about? The first part, UNDP, is the United Nations Global Development Network. Their focus is to help countries build and share solutions to the challenges of democratic governance, poverty reduction, crisis prevention and recovery, environment and energy, and HIV. The IAPSO was a specialized program of the UNDP that offers procurement, training, and certification to staff of the UN system, NGOs, international government financing institutions, and their borrowers and governments. In 2008, the IAPSO switched from being a partner with the UNDP to being a partner with UNOPS. Frequently procured goods include computers, agricultural equipment, office equipment, vehicles, aircraft, shelter items, construction items, etc. In short, the Watchtower Society continued to be a customer of these United Nations programs, actively trading with the so-called Satanic Beast long after they withdrew their association as an NGO in 2001. And number 5. On March 19th, 2002, a year after the Watchtower had disassociated itself as an NGO, the United Nations Economic and Social Council published a document related to the promotion and protection of human rights written by Miguel Alfonso Martinez. Footnote number 53 of the English version, which is found on page 30, also referencing footnote number 95, page 19 of this document, reveals the use of the New World Translation in this document, a Bible translation that is used exclusively by the Jehovah's Witnesses. This directly implicates the involvement of the Watchtower Society in writing this document. So these are just a few of the numerous ways in which the Watchtower Society continues to maintain ties with the UN. And so since we've already discussed how the Watchtower views the United Nations, that scarlet-colored wild beast that receives its power from Satan's system, it's curious why it continues to seek and establish relationships with it. So some witnesses may say, well, Ricky, this is no different than what the Apostle Paul did when he was jailed. He went to the government at that time to seek help. but the author makes several good points. She says that Paul only did this for himself. He didn't sign up to support the Roman or political organizations at that time. He did not agree to disseminate information for those political organizations. He did not actively seek political associations with them and their other parties. And he didn't lobby for their causes in the political arena. And he did not actively participate in these meetings and conventions. So it's not the same. So it becomes painfully obvious that the Watchtower Society has continued to ally itself hypocritically with the same political and military organizations that it heavily condemns. So, are they really trusting in Jehovah God? Or is Watchtower trusting in other means? Well, let's take a look at one last article on this subject. So this is taken from the December 15th, 1993 Watchtower, from the article Trust in Jehovah. And if you read the black highlights there on paragraph 9, it says this: in contrast with political nations, Jehovah's Witnesses are happy to be the nation whose God is Jehovah. They alone can truthfully say, "In God we trust." Each one of them can cry out joyfully, "In union with God I shall praise His word. In God I have put my trust. I shall not be afraid." So I don't know. Are they the only ones that can say that they truly and truthfully trust in Jehovah God alone? Or are they trusting in the United Nations to help them out with their religious freedoms? I don't know. You be the judge. And with that, this is going to end this chapter. Thanks for listening. Thank you for taking time to listen to my summary of Jehovah's Witnesses and the United Nations, How the Watchtower Society Fooled Millions. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for Chapter 12.